Hey guys, I'm gonna re-record a video here about using the CRM with really simple systems. Here you can see you're at the main login page. You're gonna put in your information as far as company name, email, and password. I'm logging in as Randy, and then we go ahead and log in. Once we're logged in here, this is the main sales homepage. As you get more sophisticated with this and get further down the road, I can actually give you a snapshot on like a sales funnel as far as where people are in the process and where opportunities are as far as tasks if we're behind on things like that. But for now, we want to have just basic functionality so that you guys know kind of what it is that we have here and kind of how it works. So the main thing is, say a sales rep is calling a potential wholesaler and we get their information and they're interested in getting info from us, then we're going to go ahead and enter them as far as accounts within the CRM. So once we hit the accounts tab over here, then we're going to go over to the right hand side and click add account. For simplicity, we're going to be just going off of the Minnesota Geothermal Heat Pump Association, and we're going to act as if we got a lead from here. So heating and cooling 2 is company names, so we can just highlight this. And for ease and to speed things up, we're going to just be using some of the keyboard functions. So if we hit Control C, that copies it. And then if we hit Alt Tab, that just flips us back to the previous program we were at. So we can Control V, paste it. Again, Alt Tab, go back. So you can make things pretty quick. So it's just MN. Put their phone number in here. Website. And once we have that in there, any other information we find out, if we know how many employees there are, revenue, I'm sure they're all private companies here. We're not going to know that type of information, but then we can code it over here. Who is it? Who entered the lead in? Was it Randy or was it Bruce? And then what type of person are they? They're a prospect, they're a supplier, they're a customer, so we can code it later down the road. So once we have all the company information in here, we go ahead and save it. And then from here, this is where we're going to add our personal contacts. So actually our point of contact is at the company. So again, we're going to contacts, hit add the contacts. And again, that's Al Hebing here. So we're going to grab his name. So actually it only takes that first name up there. So cut that. So we have his mobile number here. Put that in. His fax. And his email. That's what's in there. And then, obviously we want to identify if this person is a decision maker or not. If they are, we're going to go ahead and save that in there. Any other pertinent information you want to put in here as far as the particular department or who their assistant might be, anything that just helps you out so that when you make a follow-up phone call, you have a good point of reference. Maybe you guys had good conversation and you're both into golf or hunting or something like that. You can obviously put that in your notes here, so it's always a good common place to refresh your memory based on your previous conversation, as well as maybe some common bonds or rapport you have with the person. Again, we want to go ahead and save that. So now we have our account, we have our contact, and the most important function here is we want to schedule a task. So it should always be just a given that we don't have to record that we send out the delayed emails. If we put a new lead in, we put the company information in, the contact information in, we send out the 4 delayed emails. We shouldn't even have to record that because that's just a given. And then we want to add a task. So say we called them today and they were interested in what we had to say as far as getting information, told us to call back in a week. Then we hit the calendar function. We'll call them back in a week. You can prioritize on it how you want. If they seemed kind of lukewarm on it, or they were very interested in the information and want to get going right away. And then we want to put in here, hold up, phone call, conversation was okay. So again, we're gonna have this in here. So we have the task date, prioritize what we're doing, what we're going to specifically do. We're going to call them, email them. We can put in here that we send them a letter. We're going to be doing a video conference, be training staff, whatever it is. But we want to obviously our dates, what we're going to be doing, who the person is, and what the task is, and then we save that. So once that's in there, and you come back to the home page, so say Bruce, Randy, or any new sales rep logs in on any given day, they should be able to log in and hit what their task list is. Let's see. Okay, so this would be a task list. Say it comes in next Tuesday, and all they'd have to do, there probably might be 8, 10, 12 of these or more. They're going to hit the heating and cooling tab for that task. They go down to where this task is. We can hit that. Obviously, we're completed, and then we add any notes to that from there. Once we're done with that, then we save it. Since I don't have anything to add to it right at the moment, I'm just gonna not save that. Obviously, we can add any other follow-up activities. Once this task is completed, it's going to go down into the activities tab, so we can have an activities report later. And then we would add a new task. Say 2 weeks from now, he wants you actually to come in, house, sit down with him and his co-owner, really talk in detail about your product line, pricing, and the information you have for tutelage to train their sales staff and things like that. And so again, once the task is completed, it'll be recorded as an activity. We'll add the new task. So every time somebody comes in here, unless they say specifically, don't contact me again, then we'll pull them out of the database. But otherwise, we're always adding a task. Might be that you don't follow up with somebody for 2-3 months down the road. It just depends on how things went. Opportunities here, we can add opportunities based on things that you guys have had in this last year with Mennonite colonies, things like that. Say you heard from them that a different opportunity is coming up. We can add all that type of stuff in here, and it can be a new lead. There can be just a lot of different information, who we got that actual lead from, and we can save that so we can have an opportunities funnel. And then again, we can have linked accounts. Say one particular client referred you on to another. We can link accounts, so it's always a good reference point to say, hey, Jerry at XYZ company sent me over to you, so on and so forth. And then finally, here's documents, so that if we have an actual estimate set up for them, AutoCAD or engineered drawings or anything that's pertinent to them, again, we can just add a document. You can either drag and drop from like a folder here, you drag and drop it there, or you just hit browse, and it's going to do the same thing. It's going to pull up a file folder, you're going to find the file, and then go ahead and attach it to it. Okay, so that gives you basically how to, again, accounts, we add a new account, company information, the contact, the task. Again, when we complete the task, it's going to go into activities. We always want to have a follow-up task scheduled. If there's any other opportunities, linked accounts, or documents we want to add to it, we'll go ahead and do that. The only other big thing we want to know as far as reports. So there would be kind of two things, as far as all activities report. We can, again, so we're in the reports tab. If we get more sophisticated CRM, we can do this by kind of date windows. For right now, it's going to be kind of all time, which can be kind of a pain, but it is what it is. So I want to run report, and once all this is here, we can obviously have a quick view of this, but then we can also just download it as a PDF. And once it has downloaded as a PDF, there'll be a tab here. Click here, and it'll be its own separate report. If we wanted to email this off, which you guys should probably have done, whether it's on Friday afternoon or Monday morning, I would probably do it Friday afternoon so you can look at it over the weekend. Then on Mondays, come in and have a quick sales meeting, see kind of where we're at on new opportunities, if we lost any opportunities, some people that are close to getting going, and what we got to do to kind of push them over the edge. And so to just do this report, we can just copy this URL, and again we just go as if I was in my email. I'd just send off to Dell and weekly report, and paste it in there, send it off to you. That's simple. So again, this is all activity reports. If we want to go back into the report function, then there should be, you can obviously do reports for my opportunities. We want to be looking up, my prospects. And again, I recorded this one. The only reason it comes up is this because Bruce has entered everything else, and then this is just I'm under Randy's account, so that's why there's only one right there. But that way we can know when new prospects were, when they were entered in. Again, go back to reports, my accounts, download as a PDF. Well, I'll come back to this. There should be an actual timeline so we can see that this gives us a reporting function that basically if a sales rep's making 15 to 20 calls a day and we end up getting 2 leads in off of those 20 calls, and over the course of the week, we've gotten 5 new accounts or prospects put in there, well, then we can start, saying metrics on it that for, every 100 calls, we're getting 5 potential interests there. And then from there, knowing what our close ratio is so that we can at least getting some metrics recorded on some stuff. This should give you a basic overview. If you have any questions, obviously give me a call or shoot me an email, but hopefully this audio is a lot better than the last one I recorded.